Atreus had stripped Gen of his power. Therefore, Atreus must be a true god. As a god, he was choosing me, the spiritual misfit from a Rivenese womb, to be his wife. I was transcending into deity and moved over Riven and moved from over Riven forever. Okay. Thus, the moiety, as they call themselves, were formed. A dissident society, sworn enemies of Gen. I did not know of their beliefs regarding Atreus and myself until 2 days ago. This was, for some reason, hesitant to tell me. I can't figure out why. I know she doesn't believe these things. Of course, everyone here assumed that I moved, would be aware of my own god status. They made no effort to inform me. I only realized it at a recent gathering of which I was invited. I sat at the front of a dimly lit, crowded cave as they told a mythical story of my own life, acting out the battle between Atreus, myself, and Gen at the edge of the fissure. The events had been exaggerated into the grandest proportions. It was offensive, but I was humble, but I was unable to stop it. I was unable to break the illusion, which is the very frustration of their thing. Hopes and purposes, hope and purpose, and which was given them courage to stand together and rebel against Gen. Since then, I've learned of other doctrines and beliefs that have evolved, the most disturbing which is the direction. One day, I cannot read that. Conviction that one day I would return to Riven to face them. Some believe that I will overthrow Gen, others believe that I will bring them to paradise. I don't know how to deal with this. I fight it myself. I love these people. My only real kindred, but they will not love me as an equal, which hurts me. I would either be their slave than their master. Not here, like the dagger and someone falling. Over the years, as Gen's power has become greater and greater, Moedi's numbers have grown, and they have become more and more adept at hiding themselves. They now live in a complex network of caves that he still has not discovered. The Moedi, for the most part, have completely severed their relationship with any of the Rivenese that choose against joining them. Whether if they've not sacrificed vital organs in order to remove the cancer. Even Father and Gwent are still on the surface in Gen's domains, and I long to see them, but I dismiss. But I don't know. It's hard. It really is hard for me to read this. Something shrouds face every time I've mentioned them. Since this break, since this week took place, they have interfered the surface in superficial ways, occasionally sabotaging one of Gen's constructions, stealing food from the villages. They wear strange masks and costumes, driving their damp forays to the island surface and take the house regalia very seriously, refusing to be seen by anyone outside the moiety unless they are properly. Yeah, like I cannot make up what that word is. This is really hard to read. Like I kind of glad they actually have a like. This looks like someone's journal and scribbles and writings and like style, but whew, is it hard to read some of these words? They get much pleasure out of the fact that these are the surface are frightened by their costumes. calling them evil spirits or ghosts. It was during one of these expeditions that they fortuitously rescued me from one of Gen's when I first appeared on the island. Otherwise, I'm sure I would have been believed to get would have been delivered to Gen immediately. I have no doubt that he is now searching for me. Of course, I am now aware that I was fooled. Atreus is not here. I was at first dismayed by this realization. Now I am thankful he would be in extreme peril here. Also, there is a quiet inner voice, an echoing remnant that wants him far away. I have just witnessed an age. Oh, I have just witnessed an age dying, gasping its last breath. Today I ventured to the surface to see what has become of this island. I hoped it would not be as bad as the Moody had reported. It was worse. They have become slowly accustomed to its steady decay, but I was dismayed. Lips from which, unlike guess, is brought fallen word. Okay, she's like being all poetic, and I just want the story here. Fell cold breath. Okay. Get to the surface, we had to travel. Sorry, I'm skipping her poem. To get to the surface, we had to travel through a complex series of doors and passages before the rest of doors. The last of these doors, they offered me a weapon, which I accepted, then a mask. I held the mask in my hands for a while, considering what sort of terror it might invoke in these memories of my family who still live on the surface, but it also meant I keep my identity hidden from Gen's over-vigilant eye. So I accepted it as well. Then together we swam a short expanse and emerged out of the surface of the ocean under a rocky overhang. Then harsh sunlight met my eyes sting, but the fresh air was exhilarating. Then past weeks, exhilarating after these past weeks in the dark caves. The two men with me were silent, communicating only with hand signals. Three of us emerged from our hiding place and made our way to the top of the plateau at the edge of a thick and overgrown area of the forest. They stopped, peered through the foliage for a moment, and then turned to me as if waiting my command. But could not respond. In fact, I found it difficult to move. I was smelling, hearing, and breathing my youth. It swept over me in a matter of seconds, but in seconds more, all feelings were gone. There was numbness. We did not stay long on the surface, but it was long enough to see that the worst Riven, which was once one island, has split apart into 5 distant pieces, about a half-mile apart. Some of these have been claimed by Gen as his exclusive domain. Only his ministers and personal militia are even allowed access to them. From my vantage point at the edge of the forest, I could see 3 of these islands. They are stripped their former beauty and are riddled with Gen's self-absorbed instructions. Moedi rarely visit these closely guarded places. Hey, we've been all over the place. Haven't seen a damn person except in the village. There is another island which I could not see, as it had evidently crept away to a terrific distance. Moedi are very unclear as to what exists on this island, except for the fact that they know of it. It is where the great tree used to exist. The forest is located on the island that the surface dwellers and the Moedi still refer to as Riven. They also still refer to their entire world as Riven. This island is where the village is, which has changed dramatically. It is also that one remaining province of the people, though Gen's influence is seen everywhere. Yep. Yeah. more of the drawings. Of course, I know the reason for the functionality of the islands. The Moedi do not. Gen wrote this place, and it will die as all of Gen's ages eventually die. It's very weird because Catherine is Rivenese. She's from Riven. Um, I'm pretty sure she's Riven. I'm pretty sure she's from Riven. So it's awkward because there is this divide. There's a split here in philosophy, or I guess fundamentals of what the art is. Atris, as you've known from the first game, kind of takes things as a more natural approach, and hey, it seems to work. Stages haven't died unless they've been destroyed by somebody. And there really is some debate on whether or not he's like linking to a place, and his descriptions and notes are just kind of like instructions to get to a location, because he can't make proper big changes. Like, he tried to write in the boat in the stone ship age, and it didn't really work. Kind of messed up when he tried to directly write something in like that. Gen seems to be a little bit more direct and maybe more successful in that, but even he's experimenting, and he talks about how somehow the number 5 is important, and he's had to learn that it's important, and he didn't do everything with that standing, with that first, and it's caused a lot of problems on the island, wherever he's constructing something here, for some reason, if he uses something with the number 5 in it, like 5 support beams, there's 5, bars on opening up a gate, or, like a bunch of crap like that. Some of it seems to be superstitious, and some of it actually seems to be something that works with Riven, the 5th age, and it's kind of also a bit sad that he calls it Age 5. And there's a civilization there, and it's the place is dying and falling apart because he's shit at writing the art. And how much of that is him, and how much of that is just them coming to this place, them discovering this place through the book, and writing directions to it. Who knows? Are they writing directions, or are they writing instructions to creating places? Like, that's the weird thing about, like, that's the unknown here, and the difference between Atris and Gen. They once okay, let's see here. I live in a cave on a dying world inhabited by people that they're treating me so strangely. They don't know how to react to a god. I'm still an outcast here. They whisper amongst themselves, talking of my bravery during my excursion to the surface. I walked across the island, bold and unafraid. They don't know me. Is that an E? Even Etty is uncomfortable around me. At times there is no awkwardness, and I am only Ketrin to her. But to other times I am something else. I am afraid. There's such a great numbness inside me. Today I do not feel closeness with my people. Neither am I offended by their worship of me. I do not hate Gen. I don't feel anything. Well, she says, I am not even sure of, and she scratched it out. At least, no, that's still close. Oh, that's the cage, I think. At least that's a bad drawing of the cage. I cannot read that. Gen is working and writing. Oh gosh, making and writing books. I wish they had told me sooner. Atris should have realized this would happen, of course. Gen would have written all of the materials necessary to the dunny craft of making books into this age, and probably even other ages he ever wrote. He is attempting to write his way out of here. We did not prison him. We only delayed him. The sage has become his factory, and the people are his machines, all laboring in his mad pursuit to become a god, to carry on his Noble Dunny cause. For him, so far he has not been able to produce a fully functional book. Well, Atris has never believed in destiny, but don't know what to call it. It's too perfect. It's too much of a coincidence. They hang on my every word, though they do not understand them. I am their hope, and now I have returned. I owe this to them. There's no choice. It's been a long time since my last entry. Oh! Oh, it's that thing at the beginning! Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Okay. It's been a long time in my last entry. It is hard to recognize, but I found the Starfisher. It is located on the island which the Rivenese call Alapo, meaning water pool, which is referred to by the Noiti as something else, meaning pool of stars. Having once. Oh, there's a code. There's a code. Having once allowed Atreus to escape this age without leaving an open door behind us, it has since been sealed with a skin of heavy iron. A crude telescope has been mounted over a locked viewport, the combination to which was acquired by Moti before my arrival. So there's a stopper here, apparently. Okay, may I write this down? I write this down here. And that's a telescope, apparently. The telescope. A telescope code. Let's see. We got 1 1. I'm actually reading this. 1 1 3 5 3. Okay. Oh, I better write this in. I better write this in Riven. I better write this in Dunny, otherwise I'm gonna be screwed. Three, 5, 3. Okay, cool. In the early days, the Moedi, seeking an escape from Riven, briefly pursued the idea of reopening the fissure. They discovered a small mechanical stop to prevent the scope from hitting the portal window. Ultimately, however, they decided against opening it. I hate to think what would have happened to them if they had not left it alone. I've instructed them to stay away from it. I'm almost certain that, with the decayed state of the islands, opening the fissure now would be disastrous. I have heard that in the days immediately following Gen's confinement on the Riven, he attempted to determine the possibility of navigating the stars beneath the fissure, for he had seen the Myst book fall from Atreus' hands into the very same space. To this end, he would have people, alleged transgressors of the law, thrown into it so that he could observe their fate. The telescope, which still stands there, is one he had built for these callous experiments. Yikes! It is said that they did not die. What became of them remains a mystery. It appears that the limits of Gen's optics prevented them from learning their fate. The star field beneath the fissure is not as it seems. It is a gentle space, as hospitable to life as a flowing river. This is how Atreus explained it after he had fallen into it. But much more than that, we've never understood, and we were never able to conclude upon its origins. But the visions tell me that it was from out of the will of the makers, perhaps for some greater purpose that we cannot yet understand. Still remember Atreus' words from his journal. I realized the moment I fell into the fissure that the book would not be destroyed as I had planned. I continued falling into the starry expanse. There must be some greater reason behind it. I neglected to mention it earlier. unique shape of one of the great daggers which appeared during our escape from Riven. The very design dagger that stands vertically at one end of the Starfisher has been adopted by the moiety as a symbol of their cause. It is a sacred symbol for them. It's a representation of all their doctrine and their representation of me. To deface the symbol is sacrilege. They have their own mythical explanation regarding its sudden origins. I haven't told them that I wrote it into this age along with all the other daggers. So Catherine wrote the daggers in. It's strange how such a young religion can be so unbending. Even to their own god, I have tried to dismantle them of the notion symbol contains so much power. The enemy uses this against them. They are fearful of Gen's symbol and are terrorized by his symbolic use of the wark. That's the name of the whale thing, called warks. But they don't want to hear this from me. Perhaps my attempts to even cause some of the younger members of the moiety to doubt that I am Catherine. My rare encounters with those who say they follow Gen have been discouraging. I have hoped to have some communication with the surface villagers, but they always flee from me. Hey, that sounds familiar. But I had heard news of the religious beliefs regarding Gen. Soon after that we trapped Gen on Riven, he claimed that he was responsible for the daggers, placing them around the island as a reminder of their failure. In the village circle, it is told that this was a punitive act performed by Gen to mark the beginning of a period of restitution, at the end of which they have proven their devotion to him, they will be delivered unto a new and better existence. This is a long journal, I'm sorry, but hey, we're getting basically a lot of the story here, what happened. I will continue to try to reach them. Door is open. Oh, Gen is free. Whoops. Gen has the ability to create working books. In fact, he had written one age before I arrived, but he kept this accomplishment so well hidden that only his closest ministers were aware till now. I'm not sure. Perhaps he has written others. Other news. A few years ago, before the moiety were forced into hiding, one of them managed to steal what appeared to be a test book that Gen had intended to destroy. It had been partially written, but did not work. They didn't tell me before it until now because they thought it was useless. Back then, none of Gen's books worked. But instead of correcting the problem at its source, he blamed it on the impure wood of the Riven forest, proceeded to engineer a cumbersome mechanical remedy, a complex series of domes to heal his book's inherent flaws. One of the consequences of this crude solution, however, was that the domes demanded huge amounts of energy, and the related problems delayed his success for time. Okay, sorry, this is really hard to read here. At last, however, he finished his work and was finally able to link to an age, but he kept this success extremely hidden. However, for some reason or another, belligerent pride, he has made modifications to the domes to make it obvious that he's using the dome to breathe life into his half-dead books. Perhaps he means to lure us into using the books in the domes. Can't believe that we would blindly follow that suicidal Disregard that we kind of blindly use the books. I mean, come on, that's our thing. We see a linking book, we click on it. Okay, I can't help that. It's the nature of things. But you wouldn't know that we have one of his books, the Stolen Burnt Book. Have read Burnt Book. Age it describes would be unsuitable as new home for the moiety. Must be modified. I will dream. I have requested a group to solve a combination that will open the domes. Once open, we can power the burnt book. I do not think Gen will interfere. He will leave this bait. Okay, we will leave this bait. Huh. I began writing the moiety's age. Now must acquire second book from Gen. There is tension, a strain, blurs my vision. Blinds my vision. And nightmares. Ella and Etty stay close. So she's writing a book. She's writing the age that we're in. That just happened. Almost everything is prepared. We have stolen another book, but I'm concerned Gan will miss it. We have also discovered the combinations for something for entering the domes, but we have not discovered the method for powering them. By powering one burnt book with Gen's domes, we will be able to link to this age, but we will only have access to the domes for a short time before we are discovered. Therefore, we can only use the domes once. I must find another way to make the books work. Gateway images in Gen's books and our burnt book all seem to share the same sickness. They are not powered. Images are black. It must be possible to clear the vision. Only write substance into. Yeah, we'll write substance. Moiety. All is ready. All we can do is wait for word from the moiety. Can't even read that. We're on the lookout for Gen to power, and we power and use the domes. When he does that, we will have access to one of Gen's domes just long enough. After linking to the age which I've written, I only have to locate the book window substance and refine and adapt it. Laying this window over the gateway image should heal the books and make them work. This will allow me to use the second stolen book and return to Riven without more of the book windows. We'll then no longer have to rely on Gen's domes. I laugh at these pleas. I sound like Atris. I'm risking my life, but I feel no fear, only anxiety. Perhaps it is the source of my nightmares. The fissure, like a great wound, opened, and it stains the Riven soil with blood. I hold the moiety knife. Voices grow so loud. For their part, the moiety have complete faith that I will accomplish my task, lead them to a better world. It is the fulfillment of their prophecy. But they are also fearful and tense. I don't know what they will think or do if I fail. It is done. It seems too good to be true. I feel like it's all still a dream. We have already evacuated all of the moiety to this new age. It is beautiful, and I am pleased. At last, my people will live in safety and comfort. They stand under the dark sky, unafraid, and dazzled by their freedom. They are happy. They have named it Tay. There's still much to be done. We are not protected yet. The only way to completely safeguard the place is to destroy the book which links to here from Riven. But I do not even know how to bring this up to the Moedi. They will be extremely reluctant about destroying their only link to Riven. I share this hesitation. I would be cutting off my only connection, but for their sake it must be done. I am anxious to know if our activities here arouse Gen's suspicions, so we must act quickly. Even so, I feel that now we are... Even so, I feel that now we are impregnable. Tomorrow, I will return to Riven to see Gen's reaction for myself, but tonight, I finally rest. Okay, and then she gets captured. Cool. Oh, hey, a cutscene.
Sirako. Ibuko mo buko wisipo. Na vene. Tapa mo revene beno. Now, Katerina ne. Wisifa polo yai sepe yai.
Well, I wish we could explore the Moeti Age, or Tay as they call it. But basically all we get, this and that one look before.